Starting off, AJ Goodman joining me on All the Hypocrisy podcast. This is a big day. Thank you, brother.
From your
car. Yes. Shit.
I want to thank you so much for the amazing songs that you performed for me and Tim.
It no sellout. I thank you for all the hours of entertainment, man, and not, just interesting tidbits to know, shit to know.
Thank you.
Man, go ahead. Talk to me, brother.
No, go ahead.
Oh, just like you are known for creating controversy in a way, right, man? Like, you're not afraid to stir it up. Like, that's not even a problem. That's almost your goal, right? You're doing it.
Well, I have 2 books out, Jimmy. I have Butthurt Top Secret Emails and Butthurt Deleted Emails. It's the Butthurt Email series. And in the respective categories. And, sorry about that.
No sweat.
Basically, they're doing well. And so for anybody who wants to find out every single aspect of the cyber crime that is Clinton's email investigation, definitely check them out on Amazon. So I really appreciate you providing me the opportunity to, tell your viewers.
Dude, I had this song when it was like, for the first time in my life, I'm rooting on the FBI to find some conspicuous emails. It was a song, and I was watching your show at that moment. It was like that whole time. It was kind of like you knew that the FBI had the ability to crush her, do whatever, and they're just playing with that ability, playing their power, playing power games is what I guess it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, basically, can you see and hear me okay?
I can hear you still, but I can no longer see you, but I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, there was like some kind of connection messed up. Basically, what took place was it was a giant cover-up. And I explained that in the book, Clinton is not stupid, and she didn't unintentionally commit crimes. So it was just a situation where you had Hillary Clinton storing top secret intelligence on an unencrypted server, and she found a way to transfer the intelligence in some manner, which is against the law, against the Espionage Act.
Yeah.
So the issue isn't only about, like, when they say, but her emails, it's really about how did she find a way to transfer secure classified information from secure channels like a CyberNet, JWICS, and SCIF. So a SCIF is a secure compartmented information facility. CyberNet is a secret internet protocol network. So these are different places within the U.S. government where only classified and top secret intelligence can reside, and she found a way to remove those and put it on her private server.
It's an incredible offense that finds no sympathy from me, and I found it abhorrent. But I mean, the only reason I actually voted for her is because Trump, when in the very beginning, when he said like this thing about how he was going to round up the Muslims, essentially tells the story of a general back in the day, apparently, who got all these supposed Muslim terrorists, and then he dipped all these bullets in pig's blood, and then, shot them all. Do you ever hear Trump tell that story?
I haven't, but
no. Oh my Christ. So demented because he actually, and he says it to this crowd of people who are like, they love this story. And it's a story of some old general, like 1910 or something. And he's like, I dipped all the bullets in pig's blood. And he's like, how they don't like that. And this is the presidential candidate saying that. So it's so crazy, man, because I love your work on Hillary.
That is crazy. I mean, this is the thing. With Trump, it's almost as if there's nothing he can do that would be egregious enough for the country to vote Democrat.
Yeah.
So
it's that bad.
my thing is, it's not a matter of focusing. Like, a lot of people are saying, "Oh my God, look at what Trump said." Yeah, okay. At the end of the day, you got to win Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio. Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania, they haven't voted for a Republican since the 1980s.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Democrats found a way to mess that up.
Dude, let's shimmy that into gun control, because I thought like it was interesting how the Bernie got attacked for not being tough enough on gun control, and Hillary attacked him about that, and yet on healthcare, she's saying he's unrealistic for going for the full Monty or whatever. Like, for some reason, when it comes to gun control, you can't just be like in the middle, according to these certain people. Like, is that something that gets you upset the way? Because I notice you're kind of not down with, like, you're getting annoyed at this gun control frenzy that always happens when there's a tragedy, and we feel horrible about the Las Vegas shootings. And
well, my whole my thing is basically it's not only the weapon used to commit these heinous crimes isn't what society should be focused on, because if somebody wants to go ahead and take a car and ram 30 people, or an explosive, or there's a million different ways to really harm a lot of people. And if a crazy person is insane enough, they'll try to find. If we ban guns and we remove the Second Amendment tomorrow, then there would be crazy people saying, "Okay, how do I find a way to kill as many people as possible?" My thing, like I did a segment today, my thing is just, why is this happening? What's wrong in our society where people are, like, killing 50 plus people at a concert? Like, what snaps in a human being's mind for that to take place? I mean, that's something that I don't think Democrats or Republicans are asking. And I especially, Democrats like to pride themselves on being, the party, more logical, more rational. What could be more rational than asking why these tragedies are taking place? What happens to the human being for them to, what is it specifically about our country where we have all of these insane mass shootings?
Yeah, it was funny because I was, some of the people, because I hang with, or I've been kind of nurtured through the web of the Sam Cedar Show and the Majority Report. So I have like mixed emotions a lot of times where I see the good intentions, but I just don't get it how, like, for an example there, I mean, one of the things that's happening is like a rift just between, I guess, sides of people who are like becoming ultra anti-Trump and not even thinking about issues at all, which is driving me insane. And I think it drives you and Tim Black insane, So I really appreciate that side of what you guys talk about a lot. It's like it always has to be, going back to these same old things. And it seems like, I mean, in gun control, Bernie had some gun control.
Well, yeah, I mean, Bernie had like a D plus from the NRA, something like that, and they said, "Oh, well, it's too high.
It's not good enough."
Suddenly a D plus was like a fantastic grade. But the great thing about talking to you, Jimmy, is that you're an open, free thinker. Like, you don't put allegiance to a political side above just discussion.
Amen, and it's not brother. Back at you.
Yeah. Thank you. And the issue with tragedy, or the issue with Trump, or the issue with Democrats, it's like the groupthink around media, whether it's progressive or liberal or whatever, CNN, Democratic Party, media beholden to the Democratic Party. They're in such a frenzy with, like, they in 2016 their strategy was, let's hate Trump. The strategy didn't work, so they doubled down, and then they're like, let's hate Trump even more. But it didn't work in 2016. Take, for example, the kneeling, the national anthem protest. Okay, I actually wrote an article right when he started doing that. That was last year, and I said, he should be applauded. At least he's taking a stand. It might not be something that I would do, but at least he's going ahead and raising awareness for specific issues. Now, the specific issues, whether it's because it's not just he's not just talking about police brutality, he's talking about Kaepernick's talking about foreign policy, he's talking about the prison industrial complex, all of these things.
Yeah.
What has the Democratic Party done to specifically address the issues he talked about? Hillary Clinton took prison lobbyist money. President Obama destroyed Libya. So it's like, and then President Obama says, well, he has the right to stand. I mean, to kneel, yeah. But see, what Trump does is he takes it to the next level. He's like, it's good, bad. So he makes things into good and bad. And Democrats, they think that they're like one-upping him when every single time Trump outmaneuvers the Democratic Party. Right now, all those states that Democrats have to win, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, those are states where people, by and large, like if you don't stand at a baseball game, they'll like kick your butt.
Yeah.
So, so it's like Trump already is like, I'm the guy who loves America and will stand, and Democrats are not. But see, what the funny thing is, the Democratic Party, they're too cowardly to even take that stance. So they try to straddle the fence like they do on everything. And in straddling the fence, they don't address Colin Kaepernick's cause, and they don't really offer the antithesis of what Trump is saying. So they haven't won. It's like every single, even with the immigrant ban, they're like, oh, this is horrible, it's racist, it's horrible. Okay, then why did you create it by destroying Libya, or by not even thinking of a peace deal in Syria?
Yep. Yeah.
So it's just a whole, like, there are root causes for these problems. The immigrant ban is not something that I don't want an immigrant ban, because obviously these people are fleeing countries where they're refugees. But what about creating the refugee crisis? And Democrats are like, well, let's not talk about that. Trump is horrible. Okay, yeah. But Trump is at least offering answers. It's not the answers that maybe you or I want, but Americans by and large want some kind of message communicated to them. They don't want, oh, well, we're everything to all people like Democrats.
HA, man, that's why allthehypocrisy.com, I made the website, because what I think is there's like this like human instinct that is primeval. It like that you have, I have, like we all have it, and the hypocrisy is revolting for a reason, for evolutionary. And then if you go into the different religions of the world, like that's one of the things I have in my rolling quotes, is I have a lot of quotes from all kinds of religions about hypocrisy, just to prove the point that it's it's overlooked. Like what you say is kind of like, to me, is like the Republicans, they're supposed to be the advocates of the rich, the people in power. Someone has to advocate for them. They have, I believe, I get that. They actually have money and land. And so that's what the Republicans' job is. The Democrats are supposed to be advocating for the other, all the population, the voters, so that they will never beat it. And so like guys like you who predict this ahead of time, and me, I think I was pretty much with you. I don't know if I was quite as like perfectly strong about it, but I didn't think that Hillary Clinton could win any election ever in a million years, because of the hypocrisy factor that inbred in human beings that can't handle it. Yeah. So,
the hypocrisy is, you bring up an excellent point, and it's really like, and you're right, nobody can be perfectly in tune with one vantage point always. If a little child goes to you and says, oh, do you like my drawing? You're not going to say, no, it's a crappy drawing, I hate it. You're going to be like, no, it's beautiful. There's always a room for, kind of bending, maxims or principles, depending on the situation. But the thing with Democrats that I've noticed is that there's no anti-war party. There's not even a semblance. There's not even they don't even allow any room for discussion regarding bringing home our soldiers from Iraq and Afghanistan perpetual wars. If you even brought that up, one of the biggest reasons I love Bernie Sanders, and then I went easily to Jill Stein, is because they want to end perpetual wars. The way I see it with the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, people say, well, you would have had more of what you wanted with Clinton. Yeah, but the structural issues are what needs to be addressed. If neither party is going to address structural issues, then I'm going to go for a candidate like Bernie Sanders or Jill Stein, or at least a candidate that I know is going to try to end perpetual counterinsurgency wars. When we have all these two wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, we've had them since 2001 with Afghanistan, then 2003 with Iraq. The issue with both wars is that they're never ending, and if you have never ending wars, you have a situation where you're going to have these mass shootings. Just because the violence is going to eventually perpetuate, you're just going to be in a constant state of war and killing. Wars involve a tremendous amount of killing, and nobody talks about the fact that we send our soldiers to kill all the time. We send our soldiers in war zones. Nobody talks about the surplus military gear that police get over the years.
Yeah.
And nobody talks about, when you talk about a wall, when Trump says, okay, well, let's build a wall. Obviously, I don't want a wall, but how many Democrats are discussing the drug epidemic that causes the fact that we are the number one consumer of drugs in the world, and then we have and coming in from Mexico, but we buy the drugs. So it's like people aren't discussing the demand that we provide for these drugs. People aren't discussing the fact that we cause these refugee crises to take place with our foreign policy. Trump is not. I didn't want Trump as president, but I warned everybody. Tim warned everybody. I'm sure you did as well. That if you're going to go ahead and push for a neocon who happens to be a Democrat, who actually would never in a million years break up banks, that's another thing. Why aren't Democrats, if they hate Trump so much, why don't they offer a foil to him and say, okay, we're going to break up banks. We're not going to be like you, beholden to the billionaires. We're going to actually bring home soldiers, or at least end these constant wars. What they did instead, they're the biggest hypocrites on the planet talking about hypocrisy. They passed the $700 billion defense bill, and they allowed him to have the authorization for use of military force. They didn't even question the removal of the AUMF from the bill, which authorization for use of military force, they say Trump is this crazy guy. He has, just like Obama and Bush, the ability to send soldiers anywhere if he wants to for like 90 days.
Yeah,
and then he can get, and then only then does he have to ask Congress. So there's a whole lot of.
I like how you because you lead this Las Vegas tragedy instead of leading it into like something that people necessarily need to fight and argue about. But on one hand, I gotta say, like when you do the headline to your thing, the tweet or whatever, that tweet is just like fun. It's kind of saying "fuck you." Like, what did it say? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll give you a small, like, I don't know if it's a critique, but maybe that is just a funny thing I noticed that people are like, oh. I guess I would say that probably leads to, this is the funny thing about your vid, because I watched your video, because like some people on my Twitter thing, they're like, oh, you got to ask HA about this. And they show me the tweet you said. And the tweet is just all caps, like, it has nothing to do with gun control.
Well, you know what the thing is? My, I've been since 2014, when I really started writing, so bombarded with, believe it or not, Jimmy, there was a time where I was going to vote for Hillary Clinton. Where I thought, shoot, this was like, early 2014, late 2013, where I said, it's going to be probably Clinton, and and but what took place was you just bombarded with all this. It's not like most policies. I probably either side with. I mean, most policies, like for example, gun legislation. Sure, I want background checks, but it's not the problems we face as a country. This guy yesterday, this insane person. Yeah, the current thinking is, well, if he only had legal weapons that weren't rigged to be automatic, he could have killed less people. That's like the fantastic rebuttal from Democrats. It's like, well, you're gonna just be happy with him killing less people? That would be
Right.
better. So if
Right.
he killed eight, yeah, if he killed 8 people, this is the fantastic response. Like, you're going to solve these problems by only having 8 people killed as opposed to 50, or 30 people killed as opposed to 50. And I mean,
Yes.
there was like a famous shooting in Texas, like the University of Texas. This guy was like an expert marksman, and
Yep.
he just picked off like a great many people. I forgot but it was just with a rifle. It was like a sniper rifle, and
Yep.
it wasn't automatic. So my thing is, what if somebody comes and they God forbid, take a car like what's been done in Europe, and they kill 20 people by running them over, or obviously, God forbid, an explosive. So it's not like these insane,
Yeah.
deranged, sick fucks aren't stupid. Like, they're not like, if you take guns away from them, they're like, okay, well, I'm so sick and deranged. How do I kill as many people as possible? And then all the people on the left, or like the Young Turks or whatever, they'll be like, oh, you see, we took guns away. Now we got to take explosives away. Well, of course, explosives are already illegal. So it's like, eventually you got to get to the question of why people snap. And when I mean snap, I mean, why are they removed from reality, or from the human race, or from the whatever you want to call it, like the human realm or whatever. Like, why are they
Yeah.
removed for so long that they can say, okay, I'm going to plan this, and I'm going to kill as many people as possible, then I'm going to kill myself? And what compels somebody to do that? That's really what I'm getting at.
Yeah, man. It's like when I saw the video, and then I got different. I got a sense you're just trying to go deeper, and it occurs to me it's just like sometimes it's really comes off bad every time this tragedy happens, and then they jump on someone else who maybe feel, like not the best time to say that to me, would be what they would be thinking. Like, I just really believe in gun rights, and now you're jumping on me trying
No, I
to,
know, I mean, you're
so
100%
like,
right. I mean, people like, I do it primarily to, like, a lot of the times when I when I write the titles of the video, and a lot of times when I used to write titles for articles, it's kind of like, I guess, attacking the premise that I don't like. So,
yes.
um, but also, I mean, the way I see it, and Jimmy, I got to go in like a minute, just because I gotta set up everything for to be on No Sellouts with
No
Tim.
sellouts with Tim coming up.
And I really appreciate this opportunity of being on your show, man. Um,
Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime. Yep.
Thank you. I just think that these tragedies are taking place. We're going to have more financial collapses. We're going to have, a greater refugee crisis because our foreign policy is so horrible. We're going to have, more environmental disasters. We don't even thought of banning fracking. I mean, all of these transformative things that Bernie talked about, nobody's talking about them. And
Yep.
suddenly, like, this push for single payer, yeah. But when you had a chance for single payer, nobody wanted it, and it was only last year. So I just think that, I mean, I honestly think that the only way, not that I want it to take place, but the only way for Democrats to truly change, like a paradigm change, is for Trump to win again, which I believe he will. So if you're watching the Jimmy Reefer Cake show, I'm calling it like I called it in 2015. Um, he's going to win again. And he's going to win again
Yeah.
for the same reasons he won in 2016. But dude, thank you so
Hey,
much.
man.
I gotta go right now, but thank you
H.A.
so much.
Goodman. Thank you, H.A. Goodman. All the
Thank you.
hypocrisy. We hope that that things work out, but your predictions have always turned out correct. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Have a great night, brother.
Thank you so much.
Peace.